Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, honey. Go to work, make up, try to
Good
keep
morning,
the
everybody.
balance
Welcome. My name is Kendall Stock.
between love and
Welcome to the webinar this morning.
She's the
Go ahead,
type
as you are coming on board, go ahead and go over to the chat room. Give me a chat. Let me know where you guys are logging in from today. We've got an amazing property tour scheduled for you today. So as you are just logging in, let us know where you're calling from or where you're logging in from. This is going to be a fantastic tour. I've just been testing everything on the back end with our team, and we are set, ready to go. Super excited to have you guys here. Super excited to show you who we are, what we do, and how you can be profitable in this business. So go to the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from, or where you're, I keep saying calling in, because some of you are calling, some of you are on web phone, whatever. Okay, here we go. And again, my apologies. I tell people this every time. I look over here because that's where my computer is. That's where I see you guys. If I keep looking straight ahead, I can't see what you're writing. So, okay, cool. We got people calling in or joining us from Ohio. Welcome back from Ohio. Oceanside, Murrieta, baby. Hey, that's where I'm at. And we got over in Costa Mesa, San Diego, Winchester. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to give people just a second to log on. It takes a little bit longer now than it used to, simply because of the protocols, the safety protocols that Zoom has put into place. People have to have the link. They have to go in and put in their password. So we're going to give them just a moment. My clock shows straight up 10 o'clock. So we're going to give them 1 or 2 more minutes, and we are good to go. Wow, we got people logging in from San Diego, from Desert Edge, California, Winchester, Afghanistan. First login from Afghanistan. Welcome, welcome. Super excited to see this property. Oh, me too. Me too, me too. Guys, this is going to be an awesome one. And when you hear how this one came together, so cool. Talk about people coming together, connecting resources, leveraging our strengths, and doing what we are best at. That is what you guys are going to see today. So super excited. We are going to give just a couple more minutes to allow people to log on, and we are going to rock and roll. Let me make sure that I need to open up one thing here to complete this, and we should be good. All right, let me move this over here and hit start. All right, cool. We're almost there, guys. I'm going to try one thing here. If I go here and here, you guys now see a welcome screen. All right, awesome. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Again, if you're just joining us, if you've just logged on, go down to the chat. Give me a quick chat. Let me know where you're logging in from so that we can welcome you and properly know that everybody's here. We got a great group. We got a great group on this morning already. People coming in, trying to figure out who we are, what we're doing, how this real estate business works. So let's see, we got more people logging in saying, hey, I'm joining you from Los Angeles. I'm joining you from Lake Elsinore. We got another one from Murrieta, from San Diego. And we got people, like we're well represented in South Riverside County, Orange County, Bloomingdale, Illinois. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Laguna Niguel. Welcome from wherever you are joining us. My name is Kendall Stock. I'm going to be the host today. I'm excited to share this information with you. Excited to share with you the world of real estate investing and how you can make money in this business, even in crazy times. So welcome, welcome. Let's see. Good morning. Good morning from Imperial Beach. Good morning. Welcome, everybody from Hemet, California. Welcome. Welcome to our call this morning. Welcome to our webinar. I'm glad you guys are joining us on a Saturday morning. I recognize there's a ton of things you could be doing. And man, was anybody else, I just got to know, was anybody else super stoked to wake up this morning and see the sun? If you were, just give me a yes in the chat. Give me a yes and say, oh my gosh, it's been raining for a week. I was so stoked to see the sun. Oh, huge yes, going all the way across the board. You know, it's funny. My wife came with me to the office this morning. She's in the other room, and I go outside and I'm like, oh, my mood instantly changed because the sun was shining. I was super stoked. I'm not a big fan of the rain. Okay, I hate the rain, let's be honest, and love the sunshine. So welcome, everybody. Okay, let's see. Well, we've got everybody's logging in. Thank you, thank you. Folks, I want you to get familiar with that chat. We're going to be using that today. It's the way that I can create interaction as we go through our conversation. Because if I'm just talking to you, or in a webinar sense, if I'm just talking at you, it gets kind of boring. Wouldn't you agree? So I want to interact as much as we can. Now, again, I apologize. I'm here looking at you guys, but when you respond, I got to go over here. So that's, if you see me looking to the side and wondering, how come he's not paying attention to me? Well, I am. I just got to see your response over here. So anyway, let's jump right into it. I am so stoked you guys have joined us. And there's a number of reasons why you have, right? You're either quarantined, you've got nothing else better to do. I don't think that's the case. But you want to go out there and figure out how to go out and make money in real estate. And I'm guessing that this isn't something new. This is something you've been wanting to do for quite some time. And there's a number of things that are holding you back. And that's why we invite you out here today, because real estate investors, that's who we are. That's what we do. That's how we make our living. And we are here to share with you an amazing system of where you can do the same thing. So congratulations for taking your time to join us on a sunny Saturday morning. I want to go over a few details on the whiteboard before we jump into the property tour. I know you guys are here to see the property, and we're going to get right to it. In fact, I've got Darren and Joanna. They're standing by. They're at the property. They're logged in. They're ready to go. And guys, I'm so stoked to show you this property. And I hope you guys brought your own masks today, because even though we're going to be watching online, this house is filthy. And you're going to learn that in this business, filth oftentimes translates into gold, translates into money. So let's jump into this, because I absolutely love sharing this message with other people. Okay, so we talk about real estate investing. We want to get into the business, and we've been wanting to do it, many of you, for quite some time. In fact, I'm curious, go over in the chat and just tell me, how long have you been looking to get into this real estate business? Has it been 1 month, 2 months? Has it been 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or more? Go ahead and fill up the chat. Let me see. And let's see how 5 years plus, 5 years, 10 years, 2 years. Oh my gosh. Anybody longer than 10 years? My camera is a little fuzzy. That's probably just due straight up to internet, just to sourcing over everything. Right now it's going fuzzy because it's focusing on my hand. I apologize, guys, if it's fuzzy. Let me see if I can, let me sit down so I can give it something to auto focus on and see if that improves it. All right. Any better? Any better? Yes. Okay, cool. Hey, by the way, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Valerie. That was awesome. Okay. All right. So let me go back here, guys. Let's see. Some people are asking, is my mic muted? This is a webinar, so we actually don't have much mic access. We just have an opportunity to interact via the chat today. But let's go back and look. People are saying, man, I've been looking to do this for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 35 years. Oh my gosh, since I was a teenager. 4 years, 3 years, 1 to 2 months. Okay, cool. Since I was a teenager, as long as I can remember. I have just 2 years, 20 years. My goodness. So look, guys, we've got 16 years, 16 years, and people are saying, I've been wanting to do this business for quite some time. And we're going to talk about what holds people back. We've been wanting to do it, wanting to get into this business, but there are certain things that hold us back. What's holding you back? Now you've told me why you've wanted to do it. Why haven't you? What are the biggest reasons? If you could isolate one reason why you have not become a real estate investor, go over to the chat, give that to me. Let me know what your reasoning is. And I'm going to hurry and readjust this camera a little bit. Oh, I see my computer went to sleep. You guys don't see my whiteboard. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing. People are saying one of the biggest reasons they don't invest is they don't have the money. The lack of money is one of the reasons holding people back. What else? Okay, there we go. Lack of knowledge. Because honestly, you could have all the money in the world, but if you don't know what to do in this business, it's not going to do you any good, right? Okay, lack of knowledge, lack of confidence, lack of community help. Ooh, we're going to talk about that one today. Okay, so knowledge, money. How many of you are busy? How many of you are busy? You lack time. Like normally you're going to work 9 to 5 every single day or more. You're putting in all these hours going to work, trying to make it happen. It's not working for you. Lack of time. And one of the biggest ones, as I look up here, somebody says fear of the unknown. Man, we're going to put that one in red. We're going to put a gold star by that one, because if I were to look at all of the different obstacles that hold people back from investing, you can get money, you can create the time, you can leverage time. But even if you have all of those resources, one of the biggest things that hold you back is fear. Fear of the unknown. Well, folks, we're going to take all of these right here, and we're really going to summarize this. We're going to summarize all of these components into just 2 things. Because would you agree with me, and I'm going to have you go over to the chat, get ready on the chat for a yes or no. Would you agree with me that if you were to increase your knowledge, if you were to learn the right skill sets, can you then overcome the lack of time, money, credit, and fear? Could you overcome those with the proper knowledge? Yes or no? Hit me up in the chat. Yes. We just got it cruising down there. I love it. You guys are so interactive on the chat. Thank you. It makes me feel like I'm actually having a conversation with you instead of just looking into a camera, because I'm sitting here all by myself. All by myself. Yet I know there's over 50 of you online that are looking at this today saying, hey, I want to learn. Okay. So cool, cool, cool. So continue. Thanks. Thank you for your interaction. Let's stay interactive, because every time, right, as knowledge goes up, what happens to fear? It goes down. It goes down. So it really comes down to two main beliefs. And there's only two beliefs that we're going to focus on today. This is what I want you guys to, by the end of the day, I want you to be able to answer these two questions. Okay. The first one, the only question that really matters with your ability to get into this business, it's not, well, whether you have the money, it's not whether you have the credit, because come on, guys, you can do houses with no money or no credit. I've done over 400 of them in my career without using money or credit. So we all understand that as our knowledge goes up, these excuses go away. So really the number one question, and I want you guys to write this down. You should be taking notes, eliminate distractions. Let's take notes this morning. The number one question that you're going to answer is this one. Number one, can I do it? Can I do it? I call that seedy. Seedy. Can I do it? Now, number two, once we believe we can do it, because everything has its roots, everything has its foundation in belief. Let's think back to what Henry Ford says. He says, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. So question number one, can I do it? Question number two, once we get to the point where like, yes, I know I can do this. There's a system. I've seen so many people out there crushing it. I see them having results and they're no different than I am. Maybe they have access to more information than I do, but that can change. I can increase my knowledge. I can get into the game. So number one question, can I do it? After that, the question we need to answer, and the question of why you are giving me your Saturday morning, number two is it worth it? Write that down. Can I do it? Is it worth it? Now, in my world, I create acronyms for everything, and then I create new words. We call this in our office, in our area, we call this CDEWE. Can you see why? I mean, sound it out. CDEWE. Is it worth it? Can I do it? Is it worth it? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you to people today that are just like you, backgrounds similar to yours, people that are out there crushing it in this business because they were sick and tired of being sick and tired. They realized that, you know what, there is no such thing as job security. If you're going to create security, you've got to go out and create it for yourself. Haven't we learned that over this time frame of this pandemic? Haven't we learned that people who thought they had really secure jobs find themselves at home and unemployed or severely underemployed? It is time to start looking yourself in the mirror and say, can I do it? Is it worth it? I've wanted to do this for decades, some of you. Now is the time. Now is the time. When everybody else is running away, that's when those of us who are prepared rush in. And we say, you know what? Let's go get it. Let's get after this. Let's make it happen. So can I do it? Is it worth it? Those are the questions that I'm here to answer today. So let's address these one at a time. Number one, can you do it? Get me in the chat. How many of you at least have the belief? You may not have all the knowledge, you don't have the skill sets, you don't have the tool sets yet, but how many of you have the mindset that you can do this business? Let me see it in the chat. And guys, there's over 55 of you on the line. I better see more than 5 people hitting chat. Of course I can. I love it. I'm committed. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, I'm not seeing any no's. Yes, for sure. Some of you guys are definitely, you're giving positive affirmations beyond just the simple yes or no. Somebody else, 100%. 100%. Some of you raising your hand, no problem. Okay, cool. So we are with people of like-minded. We're like-minded individuals that are saying, yes, I got this. Now we've got to answer the question, is it worth it? We got to start chasing your why. What is it you're looking for? Okay, what is it you're looking for? Now I'm going to ask, I'm going to divert just one second, guys. Kim, I know you're online. I had to set my computer up a little bit differently today. Could you please send me a text? If my screen goes off and I don't notice it for quite some time, will you just shoot me a text? Let me know that, hey, your screen fell asleep. Okay. Back to this. We got to talk now. We got to discuss our why. Why is it we want to do this business? What is it we're looking for? Okay. Sorry, guys. I put my phone, I put the ringer on so that I can hear, because I'm not going to hear it vibrate. We got to get into our why. What is it we're looking for? We're looking to make more money. Yes, I get it. But why? Is it because you want to go where you want, when you want, with whom you want? Do you want to just create a better financial security blanket? Do you want to be able to leave a legacy for family? What is your reasoning? Now, you can have your reasoning, and that's going to be your reasoning. It's the same for everybody. But I would think that what most of us are looking for is that what we called earlier, the ability to go where you want, when you want, with whom you want. Have the time resources, have the financial resources, and be able to just have this freedom, this time freedom, this financial freedom that you've always dreamed of. Now, in order to do that, today we're going to show you a fix and flip property. We're going to show you a property that's, going to generate a profit. If you do enough of these properties, you too can go out there and generate profit. Okay. Now, how much? If you're going to go do that, if you're going to create the capital to go find a house that needs to be fixed and flipped, okay, which is what we're going to show you today, you are expecting a return. You're expecting a reward to come from this. Now, I want you to type into the chat, how much do you need to make on a particular property for it to be worth it for you? I can't define its worth to you, only you can. Hit me up in the chat, let me know, how much do you need to make for it to be worth it? Okay. All right, I'm seeing people 25, 35, 30, 5 to 10,000. Okay, cool. 30 to 50,000, 30 to 40,000. Depends on how many we think we can do per year. Right on, Jay. I'm going to come back to that because you're spot on. Another one, 30,000, 30,000, 30 to 50, 40 to 50, 20,000. There is no right or wrong answer because I can look at these and look, guys, I'm going down. I'm seeing anything. The lowest, I'm seeing 5 to 10,000 all the way up to 50, 60,000. Okay, well, let me ask you, it depends on the strategy, doesn't it? If you're going to go in and do a wholesale transaction, you might be making 5 to 10 grand. No money in the deal. You're just in, out, quick wholesale. Is it worth it? Yeah. But one of you pointed out, you said, hey, you know what? It depends. Jay, he says, it depends on how many we think we can do per year. Okay. Jay, you said it better than I can. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take your number. And that was, I'm going to write down some of what I heard. I saw 20, 30. Let me come back here again. 35, 30, 40, 50, 5 to 10,000, 20,000, 40 to 50, $10,000 to start. I love that. Somebody says, I'm going to start with 10 grand and I'm going to go up from there. Anything wrong with that? No. Okay, so now to accomplish your goals, whatever your reason why is, now I'm going to allow Jay, I believe it was Jay, right? I think I've called him by name twice. Yeah, Jay says it depends. How many of these do we think we can do per year? So I want you guys to answer Jay's question based on your value, based on what it is that you want to see happen to make it worth it for you. How many of those properties, whatever your number is, how many of those properties do you need to do a year before you've accomplished your goal? There's no right or wrong answer here, folks. This is your business, your dreams, your hopes. Okay, so I'm going to write down, I'm going to change colors here. We're going to go to blue. I'm going to write down the answers. I'm seeing 3 to 5, 7, 3 of those, 10, 4 of them. Ooh, somebody gave me numbers. 4 of them at 30 grand. Okay, so they want to be into the 6 figures. They want 10 grand a month. Minimum 1 per month, 10, 3. Okay, 1, 3, 10, 1 per month. There's no wrong answer, folks. This is your business. It's your life. You are the author and creator of your own destiny here. You get to determine whether it's worth it or not. So now we've set the precedence for today. We've discovered what we're going to discuss because we're going to answer the questions. Can I do it? It was a resounding yes. Is it worth it? To be determined. For me, absolutely. I've been able to do that. I've been in this business for over 15 years. I've done over 400 transactions. I've raised over $15 million in private capital to do my deals. You better believe it's worth it. When you learn a system to go out there and educate yourself to come in and make this kind of thing happen, yeah, it's worth it. Made millions of dollars. Okay, for me, for my investors, fantastic, fantastic business. But that's not where I started. I started off doing one deal. On my very first deal, I made $50,000. I was stoked because I was a college student making 20 grand a year. When you make $50,000 on your first deal, do you believe that this business can work? Yeah, you better believe it. Okay. So can I do it? Is it worth it? Yes, 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 and yes. All right. Now I want to introduce you to the system and then we're going to get into this house. We're going to get into this house. We're going to see what this looks like and we're going to talk about the house for the remainder of the time because that's what you guys are here for. Okay. So let's talk about the system because up here we identified the problem. The reasons people don't invest is because they don't know how, they don't have the time, the money or credit, or they're afraid. But I've already told you, you can overcome these obstacles. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to introduce you to a few people that have taken this system and have done just that. They've overcome it. They've said, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. The only thing holding me back is a weak mindset, and I'm going to go out and get my own. I'm going to go make this thing happen. Because they learn there's a system. The problem, again, is lack of, I'm going to write it here again, folks. Hey, watch this. I think I can. Let me see if I can be creative. Instead of having to write it all, let's just move it. Oh, that's not going to work because I drew it wrong. Whoop. Okay, watch. That way I don't have to write it again. I'm just going to move it down here to where I want it in my presentation. Okay, if this is the problem, if lack of knowledge, time, money, and credit, and fear is the problem, I don't want to talk about the problem. Let's talk about the solution. The solution to overcome these that I found and thousands, tens of thousands of other students have found is what we call an EPIC solution. It's access to the appropriate education. Education, we're going to talk about education today, guys, because education is the foundation of everything we're going to discuss. Everything we're going to discuss today is education, okay? Because in our country, there's two types of education. There's academic education and there's financial education. Let me ask you, which one do we need? Get me up in the chat. Which one do people need now? Now more than ever. Is it financial or academic? Because I've got an academic degree. I went to college, go to school, get good grades, get a good job. Cool. I have a diploma. I have a receipt, right? I call it my receipt. My diploma is hanging in on the wall. And you guys are all saying right now it's financial education that we're looking for. Couldn't agree more, because when you have the proper financial education, you can learn how to go out and buy properties. Now you can either buy short-term properties or you can buy long-term properties, whatever meets your financial ID, whatever meets your goals. I'm going to introduce you to some people that we're fix and flippers, we're wholesalers. I'm going to introduce you to other people that are like, you know what? I want to hold it. I want cash flow. I want cash flow coming in every single month. I want to go out there and generate income. There's two types in this business, massive and passive. Go ahead, hit me up in the chat. What kind of income are you guys looking for? Massive, passive, or how many of you want both? Let's see. Let's see what you want. Both, passive, both. I wonder if the passive income was waiting for both. He was waiting for that answer to be there. Okay. Now I'm hearing both. I want a little bit of both. Who said little bit of both? Little? Seriously? Man, let's go get it. Weecho, little bit. I don't buy that for a minute. You want it? Go take it. Both for sure. These are the responses that I'm hearing. So education, properties, income, and then community. These are the tools that I use to be able to go out there and create what my version of financial and time freedom. The ability to go where I want, when I want, with whom I want. And it's just a system. It's a system of educational services that I could plug into. Right now, people have more time on their hands than they've had for decades. And it's like, what are we doing with this time? We have an opportunity now to come in and build something great, or to just waste our time vegging out in front of Netflix or movies or doing nothing with our time. When we are past all of this craziness, you're going to look back and some people are going to rise up. They're going to rise to the occasion and be prepped and ready to go out and kill it in their business. Whereas other people are going to say, well, I didn't do anything. And we're going to look back, and it's not going to be because they didn't have time, but because they didn't have discipline. Does this business require discipline? Yes. Does this business require time? Yes. Does it require an investment of capital? Yes. But is it worth it? Can I do it? Is it worth it? Well, yes, and yes. That's how it was for me. But you have to make that decision for yourself. Now, these educational services that we're talking about, what is this? What does this look like? Well, we essentially have two product categories that we're going to talk about today. On Wednesday night, I'm going to introduce you to a third product category. But today, I'm only talking about real estate. I'm only talking about real estate and making money in real estate. On Wednesday, we're going to get a little bit more into business ownership and some of those things that are available. But we break this down into two categories. Number one, we're going to show you how to keep more of your money. Number two, we're going to show you how to grow your money. Okay, our educational services are broken down into two categories. To keep your money is $24.95. To grow your money is $22.97. Whoops, not 95, 97. So we break these down. You put these together. If you were to add these up, it's $25,000 for educational services. Now, we do offer, and you'll learn this on Wednesday night, what I chose to participate in, they offer a one-time cash discount. So when I participated, I said, look, I'm going to participate in the cash discount. I'm going to get it for $20,000. That same offer is available to you. Now, when I say cash, that's any type of funding. So I got started with my education, $20,000 for my education. Well, how much did I make on my first deal? 50 grand. Is it worth it? Two questions. Can I do it? Is it worth it? Ladies and gentlemen, here's my belief on this. Education doesn't cost. It pays. Write that down. Education doesn't cost. It pays. Isn't that why we're taught go to school, get good grades, get a good job, further our education, build our skill set so we can make more money? Yes. My second favorite one, though, and this one is even more true, okay? Not just education doesn't cost, it pays, but you ready for this one? If it makes you money, it costs you nothing. I'm going to spend the rest of the day trying to share with you examples from my business, from people on my team, from our business, how that statement is true. Now, none of our results are typical, okay? We are all independent business owners. We can't guarantee you're going to have the same results, but if it makes you money, it costs you nothing. I invested $20,000 in my education, and it has put me on the path to where I've been able to do over 400 deals. Now, folks, I'm not typical, neither are my results. I'm going to introduce you to a couple people that they're not typical either. First one I want to introduce you to is a young man that, man, I'm so inspired by this guy. Giovanni is one of these folks that he's so committed to the process. When he sees something in his life that he doesn't like, he goes after it. He's like, I don't like that. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to make a change. And he goes out and crushes it, whether it's his personal physical health, whether it's his mindset, whether it's his business. He says, you know what? I'm going to go out there and make things happen, and I'm going to crush it. Well, let me introduce you to Giovanni Rivera. I want him to come out and share what he's been able to do. How was he able to answer the questions? Can I do it? And is it worth it? Giovanni, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to stop my video here, and we should be just hearing you. Go ahead, bud.
All right. Thank you, man. Yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about my story. Like Kendall was talking about, I've always been hungry for something different. I started off, my background is construction. I used to work in construction with my dad for about 2-3 years. I was earning $35 an hour, getting taxed $450 every single week. And it was good. It was great, but it wasn't something that I was passionate about. The money was all right. But I realized that I was working way too much for the amount of money that I was making. So after being involved with that job, I started to get into personal development. I started to go out and try to figure out what is it that wealthy people do. And I soon realized that there were real estate investors and business owners. So that's when I started to go out there and try to figure out who I can meet that were either business owners or real estate investors. So in that time frame, I got laid off of my job. I found myself frustrated, feeling worthless. So from earning $35 an hour, I went to work for a warehouse from, like I said, $35 an hour to $12.50. And in that process, I met somebody at the gym, a friend of mine. She introduced me to something like you guys are seeing today, like what you guys are going to see today, a property tour, which was live. And the first time I went down, I was like, man, these people are actually they were doing the things that I wanted to do, right? They were living the life that I wanted to live. There were business owners in the room. There were some real estate investors. And this is exactly the one I want to do. But I didn't get involved right then, right away. Why? Because of my programming, right? Because of that paradigm that I'm sure stops a lot of people, right? That fear, but fear of the unknown. But after a while, I was like, you know what? I have to just jump in. And I made a decision to be like, you know what? I'm going to go all in. I'm going to dedicate myself to learning this. But it took me a while to get off the ground. But in the meantime, I was learning, and a blessing in disguise about 7 months ago now, 7-8 months ago. I got into a car accident, head-on collision, close to losing my life. My seatbelt ripped, airbag didn't deploy, etc. And that's in that moment, literally in like those 10 seconds when that happened, I was like, you know what? This is a sign to me that I got to go out there and do what I'm here to do, right? I'm not here to just live a mediocre life. I'm here to go out there and achieve my dreams, help a lot of people, meet a lot of people. And that's what I made when I made a decision. And ever since then, literally the next couple months, closed 5 real estate transactions. I've been able to create multiple sources of income here with this amazing opportunity. And aside of that, I've been able to help. I think the most thing that fulfills me now, which I probably wouldn't be able to say 7 months ago, is being able to help the people that I've been able to help, both in my real estate business and my over here in my marketing business. So that has been the true reward for me. Now moving forward, I want to go out there and help more people and share the amazing thing that we have. So I'm really, really grateful for what we have. And I really advise everybody to really take a look at who we are and what we do more in detail, because this can be literally the game changer for you and your life and your family. And it can really take you towards your dreams. I really, really feel that to my core. So thank you, Kendall, for that.
Dude, Giovanni, that is awesome. Thank you. Did you guys hear what he said? He said, first and foremost, he made a decision. You know how many times I've watched this young man make decisions that have completely altered what he's doing? This guy, he gets out there, he crushes it. Giovanni, you're an inspiration to many. You just, like, if you want something, you go for it. I got this much of a story to tell you guys about Giovanni. Here's, I'm an avid mountain biker. I love mountain biking. And one of the things I love to do, you'll find out, I invite people into my circle, like, let's go hang out. Giovanni have you mountain biked much at all, really, before you started riding with us?
Never.
Never been on a mountain bike. I'm like, hey, you want to go riding with us? He's like, yeah, dude, for sure. Let's do it. He made a decision he was going to come. Now, he's got no experience on a mountain bike, and we don't take him to the bunny slopes. We're not taking him to the green trails on this downhill mountain bike course. We take him straight up the Big Bear. We put him on the chairlift, take him to the top of the mountain. We're hitting black diamonds right out of the gate. And this guy is bombing it. He just makes the decision like, oh, I can't get hurt, and goes for it. When he decides and puts his mind to something, he's going to get whatever he's looking for. So, Giovanni, thank you.
Thank you, man.
Congratulations. Well, Giovanni, he also, when he made a decision, he's like, I didn't have the money to get started. Here's the thing. I know that many of you are going to have this mental block, and you're going to say, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this, but I don't have the money. Yeah, but I don't have the experience. Yeah, but I'm not like Giovanni. Yeah, but you don't know my story. Actually, I do. I do know your story, whether it's from you or people that I've met just like you, or whether it's from my own. My own story isn't just riddled with success for 15 years. And I've been on top and I've been on bottom. And I know that the only way to get out is to get back to work. Increase my knowledge, increase my activity. Income always follows activity. Write that down. Income always follows activity. So if you don't know what activity to create, you are in the right place. Okay, Giovanni didn't have the money to get started. Boom. He was able to find it through some resources that we have available. Was able to find the money and get started. Okay. Well, let me introduce now Giovanni. He's a wholesaler. He's out there wholesaling, knocking on doors, making things happen. I want to introduce you to another gentleman, somebody that I met that he also, when I first met him, Matt came on board and I didn't understand Matt. I'm like, man, I don't get this guy. His goals are so much different than mine. And at first I'm like, that's driving me crazy. And then I just realized he's got a totally different financial game plan than I do. How many of you believe or realize that you're going to find people like that every day in business? So did I. So we engaged Matt into the conversation. He called off of a roadside sign. He was invited down to a presentation. Like many of you today, however you got here. And he participated in the conversation. And he's like, yeah, I can do this. And Matt had already spent tens of thousands of dollars with another company. And so I'm like, Matt, why did you get started with us? And he's got a different investor ID than I do, but it fits him. It fits what he's looking for. And that's the important part. This is not a one size fits all. You get to custom tailor your education to your needs. So Matt, come on out, bud. Share us the story of what you've been able to accomplish in your business.
All right. Thanks, Kendall. Yeah. So, Kendall didn't really know what to think of me when he first met me. I was kind of I had worked at a comedy club. I had done martial arts. He's like, who the heck is this guy? And, I like to have fun. I was a little shy about jumping in with the 20 grand because it was like, oh man, I just spent all this money on Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I knew I needed more training though. I knew I needed more information to accomplish my goals. And I really liked this system because it was so complete. And you know, once you get your education, there's no upselling. It's just, that's the end of the sales cycle, and you just go to work on learning what you want to learn and doing what you want to do. So what I've been able to do since becoming involved, I've been able to do a fix and flip in Paris. I bought a duplex in San Jacinto, and I held on to that for about 5 years, and it nearly doubled in value. And so I turned around and sold it because I kind of felt like we're at the top of the market. And then I took that, some of the proceeds from that, and put that into another property in the Midwest in a small apartment building. And so my investor ID, I want cash flow. I like to be a landlord, and then eventually want to be a money lender. I want the passive income. I want that consistent money coming in all the time. And that's my investor ID. That's what I want to create. But the other thing I love to do is I love to share this opportunity with people, and then just go out and tell people about how it can impact their life. And would you agree there's a lot of people out there who are hurting financially right now, and they don't really know what to do? They weren't trained for this in school, and so they have no game plan to go forward. And the rich are getting richer right now. Anytime there's anytime there's a crash, there's a transfer of wealth. This stuff going on where people are making money, and a bunch of real estate is about to go on sale right now. I mean, I'm already starting to see it a little bit in certain places. You know, I'm seeing deals, you know, show up for, you know, for 75 grand for a 4-unit apartment building. And you know, things like that are coming up. And now's the time to get ready. Because if you think there's going to be a baby boom in 9 months, guess what else there's going to be? If people are told that they don't have to pay their mortgages, then there's also going to be sad to say it, there's going to be a bump in the foreclosures, in my opinion. And if you get educated now, in 8 or 9 months, you could be in a really strong position to be able to help those folks and to make a lot of money while you do it. So this system is amazing. I'm so grateful for what I've been learning here. I love the community because I don't have to do it alone. I would have probably given up if I had to do it by myself. So it's really being a part of this community that made a big difference for me. So, you know, you guys deserve this. You know, get your questions answered. You know, get that more information, and don't be afraid to take some action. Don't be afraid to jump in. It's really the best decision that I've been able to make, and it's paid me back tenfold since I've been involved. So, and I'm not typical either. We got to keep saying that. So anyway, thank you so much, Kendall. I appreciate you being patient with me when I was giving you a hard time. So thanks.
Oh, whoa. That was weird. That echoed really bad for a minute. Right back at you, bud. Hey, I gave you a hard time. You gave me a hard time, but in the end, it's amazing. It works out the way it's supposed to, doesn't it? I guess I forgot to turn my camera back on.
Yeah, absolutely. It does work out the way it's supposed to. You know, we're not all meant to be the same, you know, and we can really, really complement one another with our differences. You know, we're all unique. You know, we were all created uniquely, you know, and you just got to let your light shine and do what you can and really harmonize with others and work together. And that's what this group is all about. It's a real true mastermind group to help you get wealthy. And I love it, Kendall. Thank you so much.
No, you bet. Thank you, Matt. All right. Am I coming across? Is my audio coming across okay with you guys? It sounds really weird in my office right here. Okay, guys. So we've talked. Thank you, Matt. You're the man. I appreciate you. I respect you. I love what you're doing in your business, and you make our community better. So thank you for being you, even with your little word quirks, because we all have them. I certainly know that I have mine. So, okay, guys, let's get to a property, right? We've been talking about, let me come over here so you guys can see this. We've been talking about, and you've heard people mention this community. What is this community you guys keep talking about? You talk about your epic solution: education, properties, income, and community. You hear people talking about marketing. They're making money in real estate. They're making money in marketing. We've got opportunities for both of you. Have you ever made a recommendation to somebody? I know that I have. I've made recommendations to people about all sorts of things. Well, we can get paid utilizing our services, going out and investing in real estate. You also have an opportunity to start a business with us. And when you enroll people in the services, you have an opportunity to get paid for doing that as well. So as you hear people discuss this, we'll talk more about this on Wednesday night, but yes, there's an opportunity to make money on both sides of the business. Just recently, I had a good friend enroll in all of the marketing services, or excuse me, all the educational services that we have. And that paid me over $12,000. $12,000 because he participated in everything that we do. Folks, we're going to show you about that on Monday. We're full disclosure. We disclose everything that we do because we're inviting you to come do it with us. Come learn how to invest, come learn how to share your success with others. And that is the entirety of the rest of the day. I want to go ahead and I want to bring on Darren and Joanna. And as they're coming on camera, I want to set this up for you. I want to tee this up because we talk about community. When we're discussing community, what is this community we're talking about? We're here to see a property tour today. Now, you guys are in for a doozy. This property, to say the least, is disgusting. It's absolutely filthy. And that's real estate investing. Sometimes they're clean, they're simple fix and flips. Other times they're not. They're disgusting and revolting. And you're like, oh my gosh, how are you ever going to make money on that? And some of you saw a couple weeks ago where Weecho was there. He was in a full hazmat suit walking through his property. As real estate investors, we get paid to solve people's problems, okay? And sometimes when we don't have the resources, we've got to be resourceful. So we're going to talk about how this deal came to fruition. I got a call 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks or last week? Let me think. Oh my gosh, I think it was last week. It was last week. This goes fast. Last week, I get a phone call and Joanna calls me up and she says, hey, I think I've got a great deal. Can you help run the numbers? And I'm like, yes, sort of, kind of, not right now because I'm tied up doing all these other things and I had a million things going on. I said, but let's do this. Let's leverage Darren. She called Darren, got him on the phone, had a quick conversation. Boom, we got this property under contract. We're ready to rock and roll. Now, Darren, I'm not seeing you guys yet. Are you on? Let me see if I can get you to come on the video now. Let's make sure there we go. Just got to make sure we got him because, then I start
I'm
worrying.
smiling.
If I tee it up and he's not there, we're going to totally blow it. So I want to tee this up and I'm going to go ahead and you guys are going to hear me talk for a minute, but I'm going to just spotlight Darren's video. So that's what you guys see, Darren and Joanna, because as we go through this is the way this deal came to fruition. Joanna calls me last Saturday and she's like, hey, can you look at this deal? It was either Friday or Saturday. I don't recall. And I'm like, I had 3 million things going on. I'm like, Joanna, I can't right at this moment. Let me have you call Darren. Because you know what? Darren's the guy that I lean on as I'm reviewing properties. When I'm doing market analysis, I always turn it over to Darren and I say, hey, can you look at this with me? So Joanna calls me. I called Darren. Boom. Within a week, we've got this property under contract, ready to go. And we're just playing to our strengths. We're going to come in here and we're going to form a partnership. Darren's going to come in and do the rehab. Joanna's going to help provide some of the funding and she found the deal. Then when it comes time to selling it, that's when I step in and do what I'm good at. Just yesterday, I helped Darren to sell a property. Darren, we bumped the price with a 2-minute conversation. How much did we bump the price?
We bumped it up $5,000 without too much trouble.
$5,000 with a quick conversation. Guys, that's where I leverage my skill set. I come in and do what I'm good at. But let's talk about this house because you guys are sitting out in San Jacinto. Joanna, I want you to kick us off and I want you to tell us, how did this come to fruition? Because Joanna, she's a student. She's a student of our educational services. She's also a school teacher that finds herself with a bit more free time on her hands. But Joanna, I want to introduce you and have you come out and share a little bit of your story. And then let's talk about this house. This is amazing.
Well, my sons and I, when we made a decision to join Renatus, we decided, okay, if we're buying this education, we're going to study and we're going to follow it. And this is result of following the deal of a decade, following the system, writing the letters. My youngest son is amazing. I mean, he's got it, writing the letters every week. We've been writing, we've been getting calls every single week. And some of these properties were not what we were looking for, but we created relationships with some agents, some people. We're actually getting calls back from some of the people, but this agent called us, hey, I know this one didn't work out for you, but I have another property. Are you interested in checking it out? I said, sure, let me know what it is. So when I find out, I looked at it, I did the analysis that we've learned, again, through the education, said, my gosh, this is too good to be true. I need to confirm. So that's how the calls to Kendall and then to Darren came through. And Darren is amazing. I mean, he just like, what is it, and he just went, yes, yep, let's put an offer in. So we put the offer in. We got an inspection scheduled. Yeah, that weekend on Monday, we got inspection scheduled. We checked. Darren says, yeah, it's good to go. Okay, offer went in. We got an escrow the same day. And then he scared me because he said, we're doing 14-day closure. I'm like, what, 14 days? So, yeah, we're closing on the 20th.
Fantastic. Okay, now we're going to share some of those numbers in just a minute. But then, so it's amazing, though, because Joanna, you've been involved in how many flips?
Oh, I've been involved in two different flips with Darren, where I just use the what the Renatus offers with learning how to structure your money, where to find the money that you think you don't have, and and I actually use my HELOC to participate in a couple extra flips. That's how I've been kind of learning and using my money as we were, following the system and working on finding our own deal.
Okay, so she's been involved in a couple of flips, and let's look at, how many of you would love, I want you guys to hit the chat. Now, I'm not saying, this is not part of the Renatus education per se. It's not what you get with the educational services. But how many of you, earlier in the chat, you guys said you would love to have the support of a community? How many of you would love, give me a yes or no, to be able to have people in your phone that you could call and say, hey, could you run these numbers for me? Can you help me find some funding? Can you help me do this? Does that sound beneficial? Yes or no?
Yep.
It's one of the things that I want to isolate, because this is what the biggest reason that separates the Renatus community from our competition. When our competition comes in and sells education, they come in, they sell education, and then they fly out of town. We are a community, local investors that are here where there's an opportunity. Now, nothing's guaranteed, and you got to be careful. Follow all the protocols, do all the legal paperwork. Nothing's going to be done on a handshake. But my goodness, look, here's an experienced investor with over 200 deals under his belt, holding hands and walking through and doing a transaction, forming a partnership to do a transaction. So friggin' amazing. Darren, let's go ahead and take a peek at the house, because, and I'm gonna talk for just a moment while you show the house, while you turn the camera around. Darren received a phone call from Joanna, and she says, yep, I think we've got a deal here. What do you think? Very quick analysis. And he's like, you know what? I think you're right. Let's go check it out. Darren, I'm going to turn it over to you, my friend. Tell us about this property.
Well, first thing is, the front yard is the size of a postage stamp, but it's got 4 trees on it, one of them being a really large pine. You can see it just goes up there, and it's planted about 6 feet from the house.
Oh, wow.
And as much as I love trees, I hug them on occasion, we're going to have to get it down. But there is a beautiful tree in here. It doesn't look very pretty right now, but it's a big canary palm right in the middle of the yard. And once that's cleaned up, that tree right there, that palm is going to be wonderful. It's going to be really a highlight here in the front yard. So we've got to take down 3 other trees to make that happen.
So how many of you are already freaking out just a little bit looking at the landscaping? How many of you feel a little overwhelmed? It's okay. Yeah. If you are, I want you to put me, like, I'm already freaking out of how much landscaping I see in the front yard that needs to be done. I have no idea how to do some of this. If you guys are in that spot, hit me up in the chat. Let me know.
Imagine coming up to this house on Halloween.
Ooh, I mean, scary.
You're right. There's we already cleared the spider webs though.
Well, all right. So let's take a look into the house. Let's talk about. So we've already discovered that Joanna, her and her sons have been putting all sorts of letters. They're building relationships. They're making connections with agents, and these deals are coming their way. So this was one that was an agent called Joanna and says, hey, I've got a property. It's not listed yet. Do you want to take a peek? Look around, guys. Do you guys, Darren, go back to that room. Actually, even right there. What do you guys see on the windows? What's happening on the windows? Every single window through the entire house is boarded up. Okay. A lot of people are like, your normal buyer is not going to come in here and buy this house. This is definitely investor house. So the agent realizes she's got to call somebody that knows how to handle and has the skill sets to solve this problem. All right, Darren, walk us through and show us what you see.
All right. So we have first this little den bedroom area that, you know, and there's a lot of stuff left behind here. The person that owned the house is no longer living. The children came in that of the person that lived here, took what they wanted, and they left everything else. That happens a lot when you're talking with a probate sale. But the house has gone through probate, meaning when somebody dies that's on title, the house has got to go through the legal system, make sure all of their debts are cleared before the proceeds of the house can go to the heirs of the person who passed away. So the house is full of stuff. Like with some properties, it has a lot of deferred maintenance. Some of that maintenance has turned into smell in the house. It's pretty strong, and so I don't know how long I'll last before I have to go outside for a breath of fresh air. But we will have to do a lot of clearing out of stuff in the house. You'll notice in this house.
How many dumpsters do you think it's going to take to clean all that stuff out, Darren?
Well, we got a couple dumpsters just inside, and so we're about $700 a dumpster, 40-yard dumpster, those big roll-offs that you see going down the street. We've got a couple inside, we got a couple outside, and so we've got a lot going on. See there? Hey guys,
here's your chance to wave. There we go.
Yeah. We've got the bathrooms that have carpet in them. Both bathrooms have carpet in them, which is kind of weird. And it's kind of gross. Let me get you here to the kitchen. As we walk through the front door, kitchen is on our right. It's got high ceilings. This is a single-story home. You'll see the cabinets are in really good condition, which is a big plus. The countertops are not, and that's okay because we plan on changing them anyway.
So as we walk through looking at the mess here, Darren, let's talk, because obviously this is a fix and flip. You're not planning on turning this into a buy and hold. This is going to be a property.
Nope, but that is an option.
It is an option, sure. You come in, you fix it up, you flip it. Obviously, step one, before you can do anything, you got to clear all of the debris out of this house. In the kitchen,
that is correct.
Let's talk about what are you going to do here in this kitchen?
Well, after it gets cleaned out, we'll get the countertops removed and the flooring removed. The appliances taken out, all of the fixtures removed, the faucet, the light fixtures, that kind of thing. We'll take everything out of it, so it's just going to be the cabinets here. And then we'll get countertops put back on, we'll get drywall done, and then we'll get flooring put in and paint put up.
Okay, so
it really isn't that difficult.
You have to replace those cabinets. That's often a question because people, when we watch this on TV, they're going to do everything brand new. Are you planning on replacing those cabinets in that house?
No.
Why not?
No, these cabinets are really strong. They're oak wood. They're full of VHS tapes. I didn't realize that, but they're oak. They're complete. They're good cabinets. So we can paint those. We can stain them. We can leave them as is. If there were missing drawers, missing doors, and they were cheap cabinets, then you know what? We might change our mind. And replacing the cabinets isn't that hard. It takes time, but it's another $4,000 that we don't need to spend.
Yeah.
We can spend $1,000 just getting them painted.
See, what I'm going to encourage you guys to do as Darren walks through this house, I want you to think like an investor. When we walk through a property, we're walking through and we're just looking at, okay, there's a lot of stuff in here, but a couple of days later and some laborers, it's clean. What needs to be done? If we're looking at the walls and the windows and the light fixtures, there's not big, huge holes anywhere. Like this is paint, carpet, landscaping, new countertops. There's nothing other than just a whole bunch of filth that really says, hey, the bones are really good on this house.
Yes, there's one leak in the roof that was in the front room. You probably didn't see it. It was real tiny. Looks like it's been there a while, but it's practically right on the eaves. And being that it's a tile roof on the house, those are pretty easy to fix.
Okay,
and I've
so
got a good guy who does that.
let's talk a little bit as you're walking through and just continuing to see this, Darren. There's a question. Hey, would you take down the wall in the kitchen and make it more open concept? Before you answer that question specifically, I'm going to take a poll with those of you online. How would you come to that decision on your own? Would you make that decision yourself? Or what would you look at to determine if that was an appropriate move? I'm going to put you guys in the chat and let me have you guys answer that question. How would you know if that's appropriate to open it up? Because we see that on TV all the time. What is going to be the determining factor as to whether or not we're going to do this? Go ahead and type it in the chat. YouTube or Google? No. Ask a contractor? Sure. See other houses in the neighborhood? Is it load bearing? So first we got to figure out, is it load bearing? Can it support it? But somebody hit it right there, comps. The way you determine that is, what do the comps have? One of the things that Darren has mastered is being able to do the appropriate amount of work based on what the comps are. What is the neighborhood demand? Too many times people step into houses and they want to do what they see on TV. Well, Darren, let's talk about this house for a moment, okay? Because you're going to be coming in and doing work. When Joanna brought this to you, all right, what is the what did you guys pick this price? What did you pick it up for?
All right, so this house, we picked it up for $170,000.
$170,000 in California, you bought a house.
It was listed for it was listed for $225 and then was under contract at $210 with somebody else, with an investment firm. When the market got a little iffy, got a little shaky, they backed out and left their deposit behind of 20 grand.
Oh my gosh.
Which allows us to come in at 170. The family's getting 190, but we're paying 170 for the house.
Now this room here, folks, cover your eyes. This room is disgusting. In fact, Darren has actually put a sheet and a towel over some of the filth in this house because it is so disgusting.
Yeah. But you can see someone had been here for a while and things didn't get cleaned.
Let's go ahead and step into that bathroom, Darren. Let's take a peek around the bathroom because you guys were able to pick up the house. We picked it up for $170,000. Now, people are looking at this, and if you don't know what to do and all you see is filth and nastiness and you've never done this before, I want you guys on the chat. Darren, this house is how big? Just under 2,000 square feet?
Yeah, I think it's a little less than that. I think it's 1,500.
Okay, so I'm going to put a question out to the chat, guys. Put on your investor cap because Darren's walking you through. Darren and Joanna, they are showing you through their lens what this house looks like. I need an estimate. How much do you think it's going to cost to fix up this house? I need an estimate. It's 1,500 square feet. You see that we've got all sorts of work that needs to be done. Okay, I'm seeing people put in numbers with a question mark. That's funny. Okay, keep going. All right, let me tell you guys what I'm seeing here so far. Okay, I'm getting responses of Todd Allen says, I see the money. He sees potential here. So do I, Todd. 35,000, 45,000 question mark, 50 grand, 70 grand. What year is this home built?
1994. 1994. Yeah, it's pretty new.
I'm seeing another guess of 40,000, another one for 55, 20 to 30 grand, 38,000, 75 grand, 60 grand, 60 grand, $80,000, 55,000. I want to clarify, this is the importance of education, right? If you don't know, if you don't have an understanding of, if you don't know what goes into this, you could totally screw this up, right? Now, I sort of went backwards. We should have started with the ARV because that's the way we normally do it. We start with the ARV and we work backwards, but we're going to work forward today. So Darren, in your experience of over 200 houses, how much, I mean, once this is cleaned out and you've just got a regular house that's just dirty, how much is it going to cost us to fix this thing up?
About 35 grand.
$35,000 to $40,000. Okay, so can you guys believe that? 35 to 40. So some of you guys, like, what happens if your number's 80 or 70, right? If you're putting 70 grand into this, you're going to be cutting into your profit. Okay. Now, someone just said Darren's turning red. Well, he's having a hard time breathing in there.
We might have to go outside.
All right, Darren. So let's talk about it. So you're into it. Purchase price, we got it for 170. It's going to be 35. Can I call it 40 grand to keep the math simple?
Yes, please.
We're going to call it 40 grand. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can turn my camera back on, and I'm going to see if I can share the screen with Darren here, guys. I think you should be able to put this on your screens and make this work. Let's try this here. Let me wake up my computer. Let's write these numbers down. All right. All right. Why isn't it working?
You froze our.
Hey, there we go. There we go. Okay, so the purchase price is $170,000. I'm going to cancel this spotlight video and go to gallery view. You guys should be able to see this. So you pick it up for $170,000. To keep the math simple, all right, we're going to say $40,000 in repairs.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the purchase price, $40,000 in repairs. Now here's the beauty of it. When Joanna called me, she's like, hey, can you help me come up with the money to do this deal? Can you help us to fund this deal? And I'm like, sure we can. Does that mean we have to use our own money? No. How are we funding this deal? Hard money.
Part of the money comes from Joanna.
Hard money and private money in this deal. And what is that going to cost?
And the gap money and the repair comes from us.
Yep. So what are we looking at for carrying costs?
About 25,000.
25,000. Okay, guys, I want you to do some math with me. Add those up. How much are we into this property? $235,000 all in. You're all into this deal, 235 grand. So we got to work backwards and say, can I do it? Is it worth it? Now, this house is disgusting. I think you guys would agree. Darren, were you going to show us the backyard too?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Go show us the side yard. Yeah, as I'm going to go ahead and stop my video for a second so that we're just looking at you. As we're looking at the yard, guys, again, here's the point. When I started off the presentation today, I wanted you to answer two questions. Can I do it, and is it worth it? Are you guys seeing anything here that you can't do? Now, you may not have the skill set. You may not know how to do the work yourself. But with the right tools, systems, training, education, support, could you find the resources to come in here and get this work done? I want you to hit me up in the chat. Do you believe you could do that? Yes or no? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, here, all the yeses are coming across now. Yes, you believe you can do that. You see all of this, cleaning all of this up, even looking at how ratty and worn down that patio cover is, that's just hiring the right contractor. Cleaning up all the backyard, that's just hiring somebody to come in and junk it out, clean up the landscaping. I'm hearing, yes, of course I could do this. All right, now, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Let's talk about the big reveal here. Now, I'm going to go back to my whiteboard for just a second. I believe you guys can see this. I'm not sure how this is going to work on the recording, but nonetheless, you should be able to see it on your screen. Let's talk about the reveal here, Darren. What is the after repair value on this house? The ARV, that's what ARV stands for. How much is this house worth? That's really what we determine. Is this a deal or no deal? Now, I'm going to put this out here quick. I'm going to ask, before you guys do this, I want you guys to put it into the chat. How much would this deal, how much would this house have to sell for this to be a good deal for you? It's in San Jacinto. People say, where is it at? It's in San Jacinto. What is it, Darren? It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath?
Yeah, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single story.
Okay, so
1,500 square foot.
here's what I'm seeing in the chat. I'm seeing I'd have to sell it for 270. I'd have to sell it for 295, 350, 325, 290, 280, 270, 300, 305. Ladies and gentlemen, this is normally where we start working, right? We start there and we work backwards. If this thing sells, now again, this deal's not done. There's still much to be done, and we're going to continue to visit this property over the next 6 weeks so you guys can come along the journey with us. But Darren and Joanna, what is the after repair value of this house?
The after repair value is $300,000.
$300,000. Okay, so congratulations to those of you. Lainey, you got it right on the nose. 300 grand. We got others at 305, a couple at 290, 295. So you guys are all in the ballpark. But look at this. That leaves a potential of $65,000 for this deal. $65,000 on a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot house. Guys, can you do this? Yes. Is it worth it? Yes. Now, I want to go back to the chat again because now we're given real world scenario. We're giving numbers, and here's the thing, okay? You guys are going to learn this about Darren Davis further down the road. You are going to learn that Darren, I call him the prophet. What I mean by that is he has mastered a system. For years, Darren and I worked and created a system that he put into this spreadsheet, that he's mastered it. This guy, when he runs numbers, he's predicting his profit. He's the prophet. He's going to predict how much he's going to make on the house. Now, Darren, let's talk about that. The last couple of deals, I know one of them you predicted 35,000. What did you make?
Yep, 31.
Okay, one of them you predicted 30,000. What did you make?
30.
One of them you predicted a $20,000 profit. What did you make on that one?
Well, that one I'll make 30.
Okay, folks.
I mean, sorry, did I say 30? I meant 20.
20, okay. So that's how this business works. You've got to be able to predict your numbers and not put it to chance, okay? Darren, as we wrap up, I mean, we're looking at $65,000 profit potential on this deal. Now, folks, I know that's my job. My job is when Darren, I view it as a challenge. When Darren says, hey, it's going to sell for 300,000, that's when I start rubbing my hands together. I'm like, oh, game on, buddy. I'm going to get 310. I'm going to get 310, 315. And people are like, yeah, but what about the coronavirus? Who cares? This market can shift. I'm still going to get more than what he predicts on this. So that's going to be my challenge. That's where I step in my magic. But ladies and gentlemen, here's what I want you to do. Here's a real life scenario of a deal that predicting $65,000 profitability. I want you to go back to earlier when we said, how many of these deals would you need to do to reach your goal? And I want you to blow up my chat. While we're doing that, Darren, people are asking, hey, how long is it going to take for this work to occur? Some of you might be thinking this is going to take 3 months. Yeah. Oh, no.
No,
how long
the work itself, 4 weeks, maybe 5. We got some windows to replace. We got roof to repair, but maybe 5 weeks.
Awesome.
We'll have the whole thing done in 4 months from start to finish, start to sold.
You guys hear that? 4 months. 4 months. Now, there's a couple of questions here. I'm hearing people are saying, look, these are your responses. You guys are saying if this was your deal, you could do 2 of these, 3 of these, 3 to 4, 3, 1 if I'm living in Mexico like a king. Okay, Pete. 3 to 4. Now, Darren, I want to ask some questions because there's a couple of questions coming in. Somebody asks, hey, what are the selling costs? And I'm going to take that question because this is where my unique proposition, my skill set comes in. You see, many people go out there and hire a real estate agent and list everything, and they're giving up 6% to sell a house. That would be $18,000 on this. Our total commissions on this is going to be 2.5%. 2.5% total. Why? How do you do that? You deserve to watch from the classes because we teach you. We show you how we can create a competitive advantage, how we get it listed for just a quick, easy $350, and how we paid no more than 2.5%, possibly 2. If the agent starts telling me my clients won't go any higher, then I cut their commission. And amazingly, their clients go higher. That's how it works. Okay. But Darren, as we go through this, I want you to, because I built you up. You're the prophet on this stuff. This is what you do. You've done hundreds of these. But you guys online, you're seeing Darren Davis right now in what he's accomplished in his business. You're not seeing the Darren Davis that started. Darren, I want you to come out and share your story, man. I've spotlighted your video. I've taken everybody else off. I want you to share your story and let people know, where did you come in with your education?
Well, when I got started, I needed all the help I could get. I knew nothing of real estate. I was a paint pump mechanic. And so I knew that in order for me to be successful, I was going to have to come all in. At least that's the way I felt, is that I would need to come all in. And that way I give myself the best options at being successful. If I had not have done that, it would have been real easy to say, well, this is too hard. I only spent a few grand and I'm going to go out and find a job. Because at the time when I started, it was only a matter of weeks before I was let go, because it was 2008. It wasn't a lot different than it is right now. Right now, are we living in uncertain times? We are. And you know what that creates? Well, it's not uncertainty. It actually creates opportunity. Opportunity for those who know what to do with the times that they're living in. If you're scared, it's time to get a little more education, because education eliminates fear. That's all it is. Having some knowledge will eliminate or reduce that fear so you can get moving forward. You see, I was scared. I still get scared sometimes. I'm not completely impenetrable. But I was scared when I got started. I did not think, I didn't think it was, I would really be able to do this. I had a hope and a belief. And I used that, and I surrounded myself with people who had more hope and belief in me than I may have had in myself. And I put it to the test, and it generated results, and good results. I couldn't believe it. I was so living in a dream when I started flipping houses not that long ago. But I owe it all to the team that I'm surrounded by, the people I'm surrounded by, the community that I'm surrounded by, the Kendall and Kim and many others that are in our community. Matt is so inspiring. Giovanni is inspiring. If you want to do this by yourself, I think you're missing out. You're really on the slow boat if you are wanting to do this all alone. Come and join people that are already doing it and that can give you real sage advice. And that's the bullet train. It'll take you to your destination so much faster, and you'll have a whole bunch of friends that you're doing it with. So when I got started, I didn't want to work for myself. I would much rather be someone that could collaborate with other people and raise my whole community at the same time. And I've really been given the opportunity now to do that.
Man, that is awesome, Darren. Thank you so much for sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate so much Darren and Joanna being there and showing us the property today. Today we start the conversation. It doesn't end today. You guys may have noticed that I flip my hat around, right? I usually wear it backwards because it shades my face, and the lighting is not so great in here. But I wanted to turn it around, and I wanted to share my opinion on something. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we live in the greatest country in the world. Opportunity.
Show your camera, Kendall. Show your camera, Kendall.
I think I am. You just probably can't see it. I think, can anybody else see it? Maybe. Yeah, they can see it. You just can't see it on your end, bud. That's okay. But we live in a land of opportunity. Now more than ever, Matt mentioned, he says there's going to be a transfer of wealth. It's time to get out there, get in there and make things happen. I wanted to show you this. I wanted to show you guys this property today to believe that even in crazy times, can you make money in real estate? Yes. What if there's a downturn in the market by 10%? Is there still going to be profit in this deal? Yes. What if it shifts by 20%? Then do we shift and pivot and make market corrections and turn it into a rental until things stabilize again? Yes. Now is our time and our opportunity. It's time to get out there and make things happen. Okay. Let's see. Somebody says I need to share my screen. Right now I'm just looking, it's just me on camera. Is that what you guys see? Oh, you're still seeing Darren. Okay, I need to stop the spotlight. Aha. There we go, maybe. Let me spotlight this. Okay, now do you guys see me? I think you guys see me. Hey, gotcha, cool. Have you, I don't know what you've been seeing the whole time, but there's my story. There's my hat. People ask me all the time, they're like, do you fish? No, but I love this country and it looks like an American flag and I freaking dig it. Ladies and gentlemen, today we start the conversation. Wednesday night, I invite you to come out and continue the conversation. We answer two questions today. Can I do it? Is it worth it? I've got a lot of people that help make this happen. When we had to shift and pivot and make things happen on the fly for going virtual with our property tours, no problem. We have a team ready to go, ready to make it happen. We got people behind the scenes that are making this work all the time. Wednesday night, you guys have got an opportunity to come join us and continue the conversation. I'm amazed. It's 11:15 here in California. We have lost it looks like we've lost a total of 5 people since we started our presentation. And I'm 100% okay with that. Sometimes people allow their yeah, but excuse to be far bigger than their goals and what they're looking for. The rest of you, those of you who are still watching right now, you're committed. You've self-selected as someone that says, you know what, I can do it and it is worth it. I can go increase my knowledge and overcome fear. I'm going to ask Kim or Christine to go ahead and post up into the chat the link of where we're going to be on Wednesday night. And then as we wrap up for today, I want to introduce you to one more person. Hear one more story of a lady who's come in and taken all aspects of our business. She has come in and she is going over so many things, talking about, she's done short-term rentals, she's done long-term rental, buy and hold, fix and flip, investing with retirement account, utilizing velocity banking, a strategy that we're going to discuss on Wednesday. So many things still to be covered, but somebody that when I met her nearly 8 years ago was in a situation that was dire. She didn't like where she was. Her and her husband were going negative every single month, $3,000 a month. And she got to the point she was sick and tired of being sick and tired and said, I've got to make a change. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason I'm going to end with Kim Evans today is because I know many of you feel the same way she did when she got started. She was full of fear. She was full of uncertainty. Her income was evaporating. And she's like, I've got to do something different. And came in, took action, took what? Took action on our educational services and now has had a 7-figure change in their world. You deserve to hear from her. She's one of my good friends. Kim Evans, come on out, share your story, Kim.
Hi guys, thank you, Kendall. Thanks for everybody who's participated in this and kind of shared their story. That's what inspires me, right? That's what gives me a life purpose of being able to see other people be able to come in and have a system that actually works, duplicatable for multiple people. And not just like, okay, there's one cool guy who can do it, right? Which is kind of what I thought when I first started seeing properties being done. I thought, well, they know how to do it, but how could I do it, right? And it really was a matter of continuing to get more information, keep getting exposed to deals people were doing. Because Kendall's right, we were broke. My husband is an aerospace engineer, and we kind of thought we'd done everything right. You know, I was a stay-at-home mom. I have 5 children. My last one's still at home, another year or so. But I was really frustrated because my full time was focused on my life's purpose and what I was doing with my family. But I really needed to find a way to close that gap financially. And we were able to come in, and when we saw this opportunity, we had to figure out where we were going to pay for it. We ended up kind of doing a tax refund and some 401k money and some cash, and kind of put everything together to be able to come all into the education. Because I know, like Matt said it, Darren said it, like I wanted to have all of the options to twist and pivot depending on what kind of projects we've done. And what that's given us is an opportunity not only to collaborate with people, to partner on deals with people in the community, but to be able to do all different kinds of projects depending on what opportunities presented themselves, right? And so I didn't want to be limited to that. And it's lifetime access to that information, that education. And what you don't see is I was here holding my little grandson for about a half an hour during this webinar, and he just went to take a nap. But the reason that's important to me is because I wanted to create a certain lifestyle for myself and my family. And to be able to do that on a part-time basis, literally is what I've been able to do, is to take this entire wealth cycle that we have an opportunity to share in and create long-term and multi-generational wealth. And so my little guy who's 10 months old, he was sitting here bouncing on my lap. That's my life's purpose. I have my third grandbaby that we're expecting in July. And I have my 5 kids and their spouses, and just wanting to help them create something more than, you know, as far as knowledge and information and opportunity. Not that I'm going to do it all for them. They're adults, right? They can choose that. But it's been awesome to be able to give them a kickstart, a head start, just in information and knowledge. I have a couple of my kids who are already on board with the education. As soon as my daughter and her husband graduated with their master's degree, one of the first calls within a couple of weeks was, okay, now what? Now tell me about this real estate thing, right? And so it's really cool. It's been an amazing experience to come in and be able to create the lifestyle I want, you know, which is time, freedom, and flexibility without the stress of like what everybody's going through now. My heart goes out to people who are just in fear right now because they haven't created other options. And so, Kendall, thank you. Darren, thank you. Those were the 2 first gentlemen I met on this team. Thank you for going out there and facing your fears and being able to introduce me to the opportunities and options that are available, right? And so I want to thank them, and just come check out more. Come check out more. So we'll talk to you guys soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kim. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just put on the screen, you can see the Zoom link for tonight. You should see it in the chat. I'm going to have Christine drop it in the chat one more time. I think I still see it. I think you guys do too. I'm not sure. But Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, we start the conversation. We're going to be right back here. We're going to dive more in depth to who we are, what we do, how the system works. And I'm looking forward to sharing that with you, because again, my goal was to answer 2 questions. Can I do it? Is it worth it? Have you seen anything here today that you cannot do? I want you to think about where we started from. I started college student, graduated with a degree in zoology. That was it. Darren was working as a paint pump mechanic. Kim, she was a stay-at-home mom that was going negative $3,000 a month. Matt, Tai Chi instructor, who'd already spent tens of thousands of dollars. Giovanni came from the construction field. On Wednesday, I'm going to introduce you to more powerful members of our team, people just like you with hopes, dreams, and visions just like you, and how we're out there creating the results because we took action. We saw the opportunity. We saw it for what it was. We recognized that there's going to be 2 things happening. We're going to go through, there is going to be a transformation of wealth, no matter what. It's happening already. And one of 2 things is going to happen. You're going to sit there and watch it go by, or you're going to take action. You're going to join us. You're going to learn how to participate in this and go out and get some for you and for your family. With that, folks, it's been a fun day. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday night. Go out and enjoy the sunshine. It's a beautiful day. Have a great day, y'all. See ya.